The Silence in Between by Josie Ferguson, published by Doubleday. And this, I guess, is a story of Berlin, seen through the eyes of a mother and daughter at two seismic and pivotal times in the history of the city. So I think if you are going to go to Berlin and you want to get a sense of what it was like for Berliners during World War II and what it was like for people who were living in Berlin as the wall went up in August 1961, then I think this gives you two interesting points of view, and it's really well researched. So Lisette is the mum, and she goes through World War II, and obviously it's very, very difficult, and it's seen through her eyes how she actually at the end has to face the Russians, and once things settle down, how the women, die Trümmerfrauen, had to actually start dissembling everything that was around them, all the wreckage, all the stones, all the houses. They had to pick them up. And in fact, if you go to the Teufelsberg in Berlin, which is in the west part and is the old listening station, which is very interesting, it is actually, I think, built on some of the rubble from the city. And so we have her experience, we see what happens to her, and then we move through to early August 1961, when we experience her daughter Elly. Now, Lisette has always also had a child called Axel, and he hasn't been so well since he was born, so he's only a couple of weeks old, maybe 6 weeks old, and Lisette has taken him to hospital in the western sector, and she has had to leave him there. She comes home to just relax and just kind of like get her head sorted and have a rest, and overnight they start to build a wall. So mum and her daughter and Axel, the little son, are separated by this big wall, and she hops backwards and forwards, the author, between then and now to kind of set the context for the second story. And obviously Elly is sort of concerned about her mum, because her mum for an awful long time hasn't been able to speak. She's been so traumatized by something, and it's just an interesting story of the city seen through these women's eyes that I think will take you below the levels of just being an ordinary tourist and give you a sense of the footsteps past. So I think The Silence in Between is a very good read. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was quite poignant, and it seemed really, really well researched, which all credit to Josie Ferguson for taking the time to really get under the skin of the people and of the city.